Okay, so we look at the Division at 21:9. This game has been out for a few hours now, and I've played a good number of hours myself in preparation for this video, and I have got to go full circle on what I said when the beta was released. This game is not the failure I thought it would be. Rather, I am having a blast and surprisingly loving it. Anyway, before we get into my thoughts on the game, let's cover the 21:9 facts. The gameplay fully supports 21:9 like the beta, showing off more of the world on the sides of the screen, and there is no FOV stretch on the edges. The HUD is still hands down the best HUD I've ever used in a game, with full customizability to position each element wherever the user wants and at what size. I really must thank Ubisoft for this inclusion, and again, like I said before, please can this become a standard in all games. The majority of cutscenes, be it pre-rendered or the in-game ones, are 16:9 with black bars on the sides. However, there are brief moments where a cutscene type moment occurs, and this is 21:9, but these are rare. The main menu is ultra wide, the actual buttons and HUD elements of it are still at 16:9, but the snow effects and character are not limited to the 16:9 area, and so it feels great to use. The in-game menus are again the same as their 16:9 counterpart, but the world behind continues into the 21:9 area, so it works beautifully. I did occasionally get a strange issue with these menus though, where the background would just go a solid grey colour instead of showing me the background world, but it instantly went back to being the world when I left the menus, so I don't know, it's a little glitch perhaps, and one that would be nice to see a fix for, but the fact is it doesn't affect the game in any other way rather than just making the menu look a little weird while you navigate it. Performance-wise, it does run rather well. I could get a steady-ish 60 FPS on low-medium settings at 1440p, and can pump those settings much higher at 1080p on a GTX 980 Ti. A graphically demanding point I found just to take note of is looking through big panes of glass caused my FPS to plummet about 20 FPS in some places, like at shops, but overall it was generally not an issue holding to 60 FPS on average. There are definitely some areas of the map that are more demanding than others, and it's actually not always predictable which ones are going to be harder to run. But if you aim for 60 FPS on average in most cases, then when you do fluctuate, you should only drop 5, 10 in the worst cases FPS. So if you're on a G-Sync monitor, you should be fine. Obviously, if you're not on a G-Sync monitor, then you want to be aiming for the 70s generally, so when you do dip, you're staying above 60. Now there were some glitches in the 5 hours I've played, but they were never serious, and for day one of a launch, it's actually pretty damn good. However, I did only start playing about 7 hours after midnight release, and I heard all servers did shut down at initial release, so I may have made a great choice in avoiding the initial rush. I did have trouble at the start when I first tried to verify my identity on the laptop in the safe house, but after leaving the game and joining again, it worked straight away. I only really glitched out 2 times when fighting as well. One instance I died and managed to get stuck when, I was lying on the ground, and so could not get revived by the other players. But other than these minor issues, I have no real complaints about the game. It's nothing like a Gears of War or Unity or Arkham Knight kind of situation at the moment. Now, I have yet to properly read online about other people's experiences, so I might be really lucky, but so far I would absolutely recommend picking this title up. Now, as I said, I am really enjoying it, surprisingly. It's hard. I always play on the hard settings when you get the option in the missions, and it takes a long time to complete these missions, but I love that. I love the challenge, and I thought it would be terrible with it taking ages to kill people, but I, again, love it. Again, the challenge is far greater this way. You're not just gunning down loads and loads of people, you've got to really fight them, and they can continue to charge at you, and you just got to constantly move and adapt to all these enemies. yeah, really enjoying the gameplay. The world itself is extremely believable, and for whatever reasons I didn't like the graphics in the beta, I'm far more on board now, and I think there is a great deal of potential in this game. I do worry that the gameplay might get stale if it doesn't manage to keep changing up the style of how you fight and the environments in which you fight in. It is just shooting, moving, shooting in a lot of times. But this has kept me enthralled so far, so hopefully it can keep me engaged for a lot longer to come. This game has gone from what I deem to be something I would never play to something I am really loving and will play loads more of. It's definitely the biggest surprise for me in a long time, and I'm so glad that I can say this. The final product is without doubt nothing like I originally imagined way back when the first ever gameplay was shown at some E3 years ago, but this version that I didn't imagine is definitely worth playing. But let me know what you guys think. Is it running well for you? Have you encountered far worse glitches or issues? Let me know in the comments so I can get a better overall view of the launch. Anyway, I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21:9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any other games at 21:9, head over to my channel. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. See you later.
Just taking what I can get. Eyes and ears open, people. Finishing them with my fist.
Sarah Helpline, how may I help you?
Oh, thank God. I tried to reach the hospital, but I think I need some help.
Okay, ma'am. If this is a medical emergency, you should call 911 instead. Is it an emergency?
I have a fever and I can't stop throwing up. Just can't stop. I think I need a doctor.
Ma'am, I can forward the call to the emergency center. Can you tell me your name and address?
I'm all alone. I don't want to be alone.